Edinburgh, where Lard has just walked in, and you've got yourself a new standard lamp there, have you, Orchid?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's a festival lamp, Fringe.
It's got a fringe around the lampshade, and that's the kind of incisive comedy that there's lots to sample at the Edinburgh Festival. Still to come, we've got Greg Proops and Jimeoin, live music from Eugenius, readings from Ian Banks. That was Blur and the current single Part Life, and I'll play that for Sarah Khan in Stoke, who's written a long letter on a subject close to my heart, the vitriolic hate campaign against the spin doctors, which is going pretty well, I'm pleased to say. She also watched me and Lard on telly at Glastonbury and thought we were bobbins, and that's fine. I mean, you can't expect universal acclaim, and opinions seem about evenly divided. We think we're great, and everyone else thinks we were crap, but this is, of course, one of the things you have to get used to in showbiz. People feel perfectly justified in telling you to your face how worthless you are. I'd say this happens with about 6 out of 10 people you ever meet, and the other 4, of course, have never heard of you, which wouldn't have been so bad if it hadn't been round at my mum's for Christmas dinner. Live from Edinburgh, and welcome to Greg Proops.
Hi, Mr. Radcliffe. Nice to be back on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see you. Now, I mean, you look absolutely, if I may say so, shattered.
Thank you.
Have you been burning the liver at both ends? To use that's Will Self's phrase, actually.
2 nights ago, I was out and realized just how delicious I was at one point in the evening and went, I've got to go home.
Right.
I was with Rona Cameron, the small, formidable Scottish comedian, and I tried to push her out of the room and chant, and I went, okay, that means I go.
Right, okay.
That means I go.
So what you've sort of been getting early into the full custom gospel sounds of the Edinburgh Festival.
Yes, I have been.
The full experience.
Yes, I have been lushing in the luxe interior that is the Edinburgh Festival. Last night I went home. I was a good boy. I had some fish and chips. I watched Woodstock was on TV. You know.
Oh, right, yeah. It was muddy there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was very muddy.
You're absolutely right about that, Mark.
I think we should get into that sort of festival spirit here. We should, get some mud in the studio and, all get naked. And,
okay.
So
I'm going to take my top off and bring a small child for no reason.
All right, yeah, we'll try that. So, listen, have you started doing your shows yet? Because, I mean, the festival's only really sort of just getting started this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, this is my night off. I come to play with you on my night off. I've already done 3, and it's going very well, thank you.
Right, at the Assembly.
You can't get a ticket. Don't even bother, ladies and gentlemen. You can't get near me. It's full. There's millions of people.
So what have you been doing? Tonight you've been to see a sort of... an icon.
I did. I went to see a pop icon. I went to see Eartha Kitt. Yes, Catwoman to you, punters. She was over at the Churchill Theater, like you care. And, but she was doing Molly Bloom from Ulysses. An interesting choice. I'm going to be doing Emma Bovary in my next show. Some casting. No, she did it very well. It was very nice. I just think I was too tired. You know when you sit in a theater and you start to, because the seat and you're in people and there's no oxygen, and that was what was happening to me. She wore a turban as Molly Bloom now.
Right, well, she always wears that, I think.
Absolutely. The woman pioneered the turban. Yeah. Jennifer Saunders stole it from her, man.
Right,
Eartha Kitt invented the turban.
Right.
And, so she was fabulous because the first word of the play, yes, this is Molly Bloom, and the crowd went berserk. It was great.
All the purring.
Yeah. She did purr a lot. And so it was good fun. Please take it.
Right. Now, when you come,
take it.
You come to Edinburgh to do this show. I mean, do you come with a fully polished and honed act, where you're working this up as you go along?
No, you know me. I pretend, and then the show starts, and then I think of something.
Right.
Yeah, I said that I had a whole new show, but of course there was so many delicious jokes from last year that not everyone in the world has heard yet.
Right. Okay.
And so I have to do those too. Yesterday the Sunday Times wrote an article, and it was just a general article, but they singled me out, and me and Roger Monkhouse, who I don't know, but I assume it's
from Manchester, actually.
Hilariously funny, because we were both singled out as being horrid to our crowds.
Right.
And I was singled out as being snide and unpleasant. And I'm very proud of that.
Right.
And I want you to know, if you come to my show, I will be snide and unpleasant to you personally.
Well, I mean, you are one of these guys where you kind of move at your peril during performance, because you pick on everything that happens, really, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm waiting for something to happen because I hate my joke so badly that I must attack the audience just for having the bad taste to come see me.
Whip It by Debo from Freedom of Choice. And, oh yes, we brought the wind-up toys with us.
Is the frog.
That's the frog, is
I've
it?
got him on his back.
Sounds radically different to...
You want to hear the, you can hear the, shut up, frog. You can hear the, this is a penguin.
You're stealing Lard's act here, you realise? I mean, he's got to do all this. He's got to do all this in the last half hour of the programme. So.
Sorry, pal.
But I think it'll stand up to being done twice, don't it?
Shut up.
I mean, quality material bears repeating, I think. Anyway, Jimeoin is still here. Greg Proops.
I keep doing the same jokes over and over. I actually did that before I did music. I did comedy. I used to do acoustic gigs. But once you become a comedian, that's it. You know, I got up at a pub one night and then all of a sudden I was classified as a comedian. And I hate to sort of fall into a category, so I sort of rebelled against that. And it's more my hobby than anything else, doing the music.
Right.
Because there's no real point in doing a comedy album. They never sell. I mean, they might
don't.
sell about 5 or 6.
No, they
but
don't.
that'll be it, you know. But if you do your records, and it gives them a bit more.
It's sometimes difficult. I remember going to see Spike Milligan, and he did his tunes, and all his tunes are sensible, you know. And I'm like, and also dreadful. And I'm just waiting for the joke.
What are you
I'm
trying to
waiting
say?
for this, like, you
What
know.
are you trying to say?
So you're off to do an acoustic show tonight, but as you say, you've got your show.
Yes.
Given,
Yes, thanks for having me on.
No, you better-
It's
you better-
you saying goodbye, in other words, isn't it?
Well, what about your?
Right, I'll go there.
What about
Fair
your
enough.
TV show though? Because like, do this big successful TV show in Australia. Any chance of seeing that over here?
Well,
Are you still here in the studio? I'm sorry.
I'm going.
No. Tell us about your
It's
show.
just a trick with Murs. No, the TV show, well, I'll probably be doing some of the stuff from it later on this year, hopefully.
Right. Okay.
But I'm not really interested in doing TV other than just publicising my stand-up gigs.
Right.
Which, incidentally, by the way, I'm on at the George Square Theatre at 9:45. I'll go. Okay, I'm going. Right.
No,
see
it's
you.
all right. No,
Here, see you. Right.
Okay, Jim.
See you. Bye.
And he's on at the where was it?
At the George Square
Oh,
Theatre.
is it right? Yes. Okay.
9:45.
Right, fine. No, what
Bye,
time?
yeah.
9:45. 9:45. Right. Apparently.
See ya.
Okay.
Thank you,
See you, Jim.
Lauren.
Thanks very much. You weren't coming. I thought you weren't coming.
Well, no, the producer sort of had a word with me and she's persuaded me to come, you know. I mean,
Really?
I wasn't really bothered, you know.
I bet that took some doing, didn't it?
It was a long, drawn-out discussion.
I
She
bet it
said,
was.
do you want to come? And I said, yeah. please.
Fine, yeah.
If you don't mind, here's a $5 tar.
Okay then. So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to do anything useful while you're here? Because I mean, you don't do anything useful while you're at home, do we?
No. Yes, I am actually this week. I'm doing Lard's Edinburgh.
Oh right, that should be invigorating.
I mean, it is a multicultural event and I'm a multicultural type of bunny. So,
Since when? When did that happen?
this morning.
Right. Okay.
And I'm just going out and sort of finding the best bits of the festival. And we're going to give you a
Well,
little
who
sort of-
better?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've been rummaging and I've had my nose in a few places and the job's a good one, you know.
Right. Okay. So what are you giving us today? Theatre, opera?
It's a confrontational Gubbins type doobly-doofer called the Tokyo Shock Boys.
Oh right. Yes.
Yeah, and this took place at the Assembly Rooms.
Right.
Around about 6 o'clock. And, hang on a second, what's that there? That was spooky, wasn't it? Basically, what it is, it's a load of guys from, well, I think it's boys, and I think they're from Tokyo.
Right.
Not 100% sure about that, but I think that's right.
Right.
Anyway, it's all weird. It's a bit like a circus, you know. It's a lot of sort of confrontational sort of type Gubbins thing.
Right.
Do you want to know what they do?
Right. Go on then. So wait. Well, no. I mean, you know, I know you've got a little bit to learn, but you're not
Yeah.
describing this too well. So you've got four Japanese blokes on stage. have you?
That's the bunny.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there was a stage.
Right.
You're right.
Good.
And, yeah, and they do all these weird things. I mean, here's a bit of a list, you know. I mean, one of the fellas slices a melon in half with a sabre on his mate's belly. Mm-hmm. You see, now that was a start, that. And
Right.
I thought, ooh, hey.
Yeah.
You know. And then, another bloke eats a lit fag.
Right.
Yeah. And then another bloke snaps chopsticks with his bum cakes. Then
Yeah.
Then a bloke drinks fairy liquid. Mm-hmm. And then he puts a live scorpion in his gob. Now, the Japanese, I mean, you know, we can't have a go, but the Japanese aren't well known for being sort of into animals, that really. I mean, you know,
That's probably a
animal rights.
tasty snack in Japan, though. I think.
Probably, and it was alive, so that's all the better, you know. But, yeah, he stuck it in his mouth. And it had him. It stung him, and he was walking down holding his gob for the rest of the time. It was a bit of poetic justice there.
Right,
If you ask
absolutely,
me,
absolutely.
being a scorpion lover, you know. 'cause
Yeah.
I actually used to have a scorpion called Bob.
How interesting.
Yeah, just thought of
Very
that.
good. Yeah.
There was another bloke who set fire to his arse.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then the big finale, what happened in the big finale? One of the blokes drags a chair with a bloke on it by a piece of string attached to his packet.
Flipping heck.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing, you know. And then they had a penis v cranium tug of war.
It was head to head, was it?
Well, type thing. Yeah, and well, it was, he had a big piece of string around his tackle.
Right.
And there was another bloke with a big piece of string around his head, and they were giving it the old Evo, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I've got some string, I don't know what you're doing
Right.
with it.
Fine. Okay. Yeah.
And then they shoved a load of fireworks and bangers up the buttocks and set fire. I've actually got a clip of this. It's quite frightening.
Right.
Do you want to hear a bit of it?
Here we go. The Tokyo Shop Boys.
We are Tokyo Shock Boy from Japan. Asshole. Asshole. Okay? Okay? Okay.
Oh, blimey. Oh, blimey, I bet that hurt. Oh, flipping heck, Charlie, you see. Now, what, that was, they all had sort of, things lodged in places that they shouldn't be, Arcade. I mean, not recommended, really.
So, right, so this was...
But it's a very entertaining show.
So let's get this right. You've come to Edinburgh to do a review and a roundup. And Culture. And the first you've been to see is about eating scorpions, fireworks up the Jacksy, and someone being dragged around with a string on someone else's meat and 2 veg.
It's about the size of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you bothered coming. We could have done that at home, couldn't we?
Mark Radcliffe, missing you already.